And top officials under President Bush are closing ranks, insisting that tough interrogation techniques did not, in their words, amount to torture and were not illegal. Former attorneys General John Ashcroft and Alberto Gonzales made their cases last week, even as the current successor, Eric Holder, debates those same questions and actually made strong statements about it. And during an interview with NBC chief legal analyst Dan Abrams, Gonzales said, quote, "Was it torture when that advice was given? No. Were the interrogations harsh? Yes. Did they save lives? Absolutely." Dan writes about his interview on the Daily Beast. He joins us now to give us more insight into it.
Hey,
and Dan, we've seen the previous administration kind of close ranks. Not a lot of conversation from the former president, but those around him are being vocal in defending their decisions.
Yeah, you know, it was interesting because I don't think that Gonzales and Ashcroft had been together in a long time. It was as if they hadn't seen each other in ages. And yet, when you start to hear them talk about the policies, they're very much in lockstep as to exactly what happened, how it happened. Now, Ashcroft is a little more careful about what he says because, remember, he wasn't in office for a lot of the later days of the Bush administration. So he's a little bit more honest. He seemed almost friendlier and more comfortable. Alberto Gonzales, when he first shook my hand, I described it to someone that he shook my hand and it's almost as if he could see swine flu secretions oozing from my eyeballs.
What a description!
No, it was just that there was something you know, about the process of answering questions that seemed uncomfortable to Gonzales.
It's interesting. In your interview, you asked them about the release of the memos and their impressions of the president, kind of around the fact that Dick Cheney has been very critical and very vocal that he believes we are less safe now because of the decisions made by President Obama.
Yeah, and they wouldn't specifically say, yes, President Obama has made us less safe, the way that Cheney did, but they would do it in a sort of circuitous way, and they would go about saying, well, we do think that the decisions we made us safer. And they said that they thought that it was clearly a mistake to release, for example, the torture memos, etc. So while they're not saying the words exactly the way Dick Cheney did, that, oh, now the country's less safe, they're saying, well, they still should have done it our way. And we kept the country safer.
I got to ask you, as an attorney, I mean, what do you think of the criticism heavily from the left that they use the law here and they are continuing to try to hide behind the law, and that there are many who want the attorneys involved in this to be the fall guys?
Yeah, look, I think that it's very unlikely the attorneys here, be it the people who wrote the memos, be it Gonzales, whoever it is, are going to get prosecuted in connection with this. But I can tell you, when I asked Alberto Gonzales if he was concerned about being indicted or disbarred, he actually said he thinks he would be a fool not to be worried about that in this politicized environment. So it was very interesting. Now, he's not saying he's worried he's going to get prosecuted over the torture issue, but he is, I think, concerned, at least to some degree, that there could be prosecutions on perjury. Certainly, put aside prosecutions for a moment, there's the possibility of a bar association action, etc. So Gonzales is not a man who seems to me right now particularly comfortable in his own skin.
Speaking of comfortable, real quick, they say that they believe that the interrogation techniques worked. Absolutely. What a statement, because there have been some conflicting information on even timelines with Azubaydah.
Yeah, and they're making it clear not just do they think that this worked, they think that decisions by the Justice Department made the country safer. John Ashcroft said that to me in the interview. Gonzales backed it up. So they're not just saying that, you know, what happened on the ground. They're also saying the decisions made by the Justice Department made the country. Look, I challenge them a lot. I mean, you know, I made it quite clear. I have opinions. Someone said to me at one point, you know, aren't you supposed to be a moderator? I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be a moderator, but I have opinions, which I, you know, hosted a show for a long time with opinions. I'm not going to stop having them. So it was a pretty spicy interview.
Yeah, you said you fidgeted, they fidgeted, you push,
exactly.
they push. All right, thank you.
And it was at Daniel Abrams on my Twitter account.
Yeah, we're going to tell everybody where you can find the entire...
Good news.
We're not going to have you on and not do that.
I didn't know.
We want to let you know you can read Dan's entire interview on his Twitter page. That's twitter.com/Daniel Abrams, and let him know your thoughts on his pushing back, his fidgeting, all the things that went on in this. Thank you very much. Great to see you. Well, just ahead, the role of a